हरि निष्कुट वृंदा विपिनेशे राधे जय जय माधव दयिते वृषभानु दधि नवशशिलेखे वृषभानु दधि नवशशिलेखे ललिता सखी गुण रमित विशाखे राधे जय जय माधव दयिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणा भरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Jayo Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Shri Radhe. Jayo Radha Parth Sarthi Radha Parth Sarthi Shri Radhe. Jayo Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Shri Radhe. Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Radhe, Jayo Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की श्रीला प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंदे. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमः श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. A very happy Shri Radhastami to all of you. Yeah? And you are all welcome to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath temple. So, verse number 5th canto, 5th chapter. No, 5th canto, 12th chapter. 5, 12, 12, sorry. Okay. So, just so we understand the context, so in the 5th canto, 5th chapter, there is a conversation between Rahugana and Jad Bharat. Yeah? Rahugana was a king who was being carried on a palanquin by his servants, and somehow Jad Bharat also joined that group of people who was carrying, because one of the person got injured, and then they saw Jad Bharat on the side of the road, and his servants went and told him that this person, he looks strong, strongly built. Ye mota hai, hatta katta hai. He's strong enough, he can carry. And then Jad Bharat joined into that, and as they were carrying Rahugana, and then Rahugana, he felt that the palanquin was not balanced, and he got upset, and he chastised Jad Bharat. He spoke few harsh words, and then Jad Bharat did not speak, but when he spoke, then it opened the eyes of Rahugana. And then Rahugana surrendered to Jad Bharat. And in this chapter, actually, Jad Bharat has already spoken, but then he could not understand. He could not understand what was spoken. And then he asks again. And this time he submits himself and he asks from Jad Bharat. He tells him that I am Kudehimana. Kudehimana hi videsht drashte. This body is kude. It is full of stool and urine and all the bad things. And it has been bitten by the snake of pride. Mana hi videsht drashte. So my vision is not perfect because I have been bitten by this snake of pride. And my dear sir, whatever you have spoken, tavoktam akyahi, whatever you have spoken, please explain. Please explain to me. Kautuhalam chetasome, my chetna, my heart, it's going through turbulence. I cannot understand. Please akyahi, please speak again. And then Jad Bharat speaks to him. He tells him that this body is a transformation of earth. Parthiv. The word has come from Prithvi, which is earth. He says this body is made from a transformation of earth. You have 2 knees, you have legs, body. This is just a transformation of earth. That's what you are. That's what these people are. And on the palanquin you are sitting. So you are nothing but also a transformation of earth. He still could not understand. He still could not understand. And then Jad Bharat tells him that for you to understand that gyan, that knowledge, he says that gyan which is artham ekam, right? Only one, paramartham ekam, He says that gyan who has only earth means purpose, and the purpose is param, supreme. So he says the purpose of that knowledge which is only one purpose, right? And that knowledge which is advayam, which is devoid of duality, which is not limited to internal or which is not limited to external. Antar bahya Brahm Satyam, right? Which is not antar as in unbreakable, and it is also not restricted to internal or bahi, external. It is Brahm and it is Satyam. It is absolute truth. And that knowledge, he says, it is Pratyak, Prashantam, a Bhagwant Shabd. It is Prashant, it is all peaceful. Right? Bhagvat Shabd Sangyam, and that absolute truth, that knowledge is called Bhagavan. You know how we say that Brahma, Gyan, Paramatma. So the Bhagavan encompass the Paramatma feature as well as Brahman feature. Both. So he said that knowledge, that absolute truth, which is given the name of Bhagavat Sangyam. Right? And that he says, Vasudev, Yad Vasudev Kavyo Vadanti. All the knowledgeable people call it Vasudev. And for you to realize that, so this is what now Jad Bharat is telling Rahugan, if you want to realize that absolute truth, this is the process. Okay, please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rahu Ganaitat Tapasanayati. Rahu Ganetat Tapasanayati. Nache Jayanir Vapanad Grihadva. नाचे जया निर्वपणाद् गृहाद् वा न छन्दसा न छन्दसा वजलाग्निसूर्या न च छन्दसा वजलाग्निसूर्या विना महत्पादरजोऽभिषेकम् विना महत्पादरजोऽभिषेकम्. Oh, thank you, bro. Thanks for putting it on the screen. Okay. I'll do word by word meaning first so that we all understand, and then I'll request two Prabhujis and two Matajis to recite the verse. Yeah, please focus. Word by word translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Rahu Gana. O King Rahu Gana. Etat. This knowledge. Tapsa. By severe austerities and penances. Na yati. Does not become revealed. Na, not, cha, also, jayaya, by a great arrangement for worshipping the deity, nirvapanat, or from finishing all material duties and accepting sannyas, grihat, from ideal householder life, va, or, na, nor, chandasa, by observing celibacy or studying Vedic literature, na eva, nor, jalagni suryai, by severe austerities such as keeping oneself in water, in a burning fire, or in the scorching sun. Vina, without, mahat, of the great devotees. Pad rajah, the dust of the lotus feet. Abhishekam, smearing all over the body. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. My dear King Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, strictly following the rules and regulations of householder life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyas, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth. But the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. Yeah. Srila Bhaktivedanta purports ki. I hope now you all understand the meaning. Yeah. So Rahugana had a question, and Jad Bharat told him that if you want to understand the absolute truth, it can only be revealed, or it can't be revealed by following Hatha Yoga, by other processes, standing in the sun, water, fire, etc., whatever. The only way to understand that or realize that absolute truth is by serving a great devotee. Yeah? So if I can request two Prabhujis to please recite the verse with the mood that you are trying to surrender, you want to surrender. Yeah? Let's please recite the verse. Rahu Ganeta Tapasa Nayati Nache Jayanir Vapanad Grihadva Na Chandasane Vajalagni Surye Vina Mahatpad Rajobhishekam Rahu Ganeta Tapasanayati Nache Jayanirvapanad Grihadva Nacha Chandasane Vajalagni Surye Vina Mahatpad Rajobhishekam. Mataji? Rahu Ganeta Tapasanayati Nache Jayanir Vapanad Grihadva Nacha Chandasane Vajalagni Surye Vina Mahatpad Rajobhishekam. One more. Okay. Please, purport. Please hear. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Actual knowledge of transcendental bliss can be bestowed upon anyone by a pure devotee. Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhaktau. One cannot attain the perfection of spiritual life simply by following the directions of the Vedas. One has to approach a pure devotee, anya abhilashita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam. By the grace of such a devotee, one can understand the absolute truth, Krishna, and one's relationship with him. A materialistic person sometimes thinks that simply by executing pious activities and remaining at home, one can understand the absolute truth that is denied in this verse. Nor can one understand the absolute truth simply by observing the rules and regulations of brahmacharya, celibacy. One only has to serve the pure devotee. That will help one understand the absolute truth without fail. Srila Bhaktivedanta purports ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Let's do Manglacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Savadhetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhuter Mahadbhir Yaima Puro Vibho Nirmayashete Yadamosha Purusha Bhunkte Gunansho Dashasho Dashatmakam Solank Srashta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanaagatam Katha Amritam Satat Pibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Panthanam Sarvalok Rishi Dev Janma Prasannam Sarvalok Rishi Deva Janma Prasannam. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, I seek your blessings. May the right word come at the right time. May I am truly able to glorify Srila Prabhupada and my Guru Maharaj and to serve all the Vaishnavas. Please bless me. Hare Krishna. So, today is the auspicious occasion of Shri Radha Ashtami, appearance day of Srimati Radharani. Yeah. So let's understand, we often use the term or we often recite, discuss the pastimes. For example, Srila Prabhupada was very strict. Whenever somebody start talking about Ras Leela, Prabhupada will straight away say, or he was not in favor of us talking about that. Once Prabhupada was in South India, and he was staying at someone's house. They were not disciple then, but they were a well-wisher. So Prabhupada was staying at their place, and they were serving Laddu Gopal at their house. And their behavior was not normal. They would dress Laddu Gopal sometime with all black. And they would say, they would have their own reasons also, that we are dressing in black because the glow of his body will go away if we dress him something different. Like this, they had their own, ideas how to serve. And then once they requested Srila Prabhupada that, can you please tell us about the Ras Leela? And Prabhupada tried to discourage them. And then Prabhupada told them, no, we should not be, it is not good and we cannot understand this pastime. It is very deep, etc., etc. But they said, no, you please speak, we will understand. Prabhupada said, yes, you can understand, but I am not qualified to speak about it. Yeah. So very important. These are, very, very, very intimate pastimes. And we should refrain from discussing these pastimes, especially those. So today we'll try to understand in what mood Srimati Radharani is trying to serve. She is called Mahabhav. Mahabhav Swarupa. Yeah. Thakurani. Srimati Radharani, Mahabhav Swarupa Thakurani. What is that Mahabhav? Let's try to understand that. And today we pray as in this verse, Jad Bharat is saying to Rahugana that we should, You cannot understand the truth, or you cannot realize the absolute truth, vina mahatpad rajobhishekam, without smearing your body by the dust of that. So, in Gopal Tapani Upanishad, there is a question put forward, and the question is, Kah Paramo Deva? Who is the Supreme Dev? And in the same Upanishad, the answer is given, Krishno Havai Paramam Daivatam. Krishna is the Param, he is the Supreme Devta, he is the Supreme God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah? So they established that. I mean, even though Lord Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita also, but all the Upanishad, they are establishing that again and again, so that we understand. So this is Gopal Tapani Upanishad. And then in the Radha Tapani Upanishad, it is very clearly stated that Yastu vina Radha ta dhyayati pravadati prapatti sa mudho uttama. If you are worshipping Krishna without Radhaji, without Srimati Radharani, dhyayati, even if you are thinking without Srimati Radharani, vadati, if you are speaking without Radharani, Krishna's names, prapatati, if you are reading, then that person is considered to be mudhottama. He is the topmost mudha. And Srila Prabhupada in one of the purports clarifies who is the mudha? People who are in the bodily concept. Very clearly stated. Who think I am this body, they are the mudha, animalistic. Dharmo hi eko adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhir samana. They are all animals. Animals. So, Shri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Now in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is very clearly described in the Adi Leela 4th chapter. Krishna, Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Dui Vastu Bhedanahi Shastra Praman. So Radharani, she is the Purna Shakti. Energy. Very often people ask, why is Radharani standing on the left side of Krishna? So she is the full energy and Krishna is the energetic. So how can somebody be without the energy? So that's why they are always together. So we should understand the position. Mahaprabhu also says that Siddhante boliye chitte na kara alas. Iha hoite Krishna lagi sudrad manas. Siddhant we should speak and we should understand. Through the parampara system, through the scriptures. And by understanding that, sudrad, our attachment to Krishna, our mind strengthens and the attachment becomes strong. Then we know it is like you're standing on a strong footing. It is not just somebody's mental concoction. Then also further Krishnadas Kaviraj goes on to say that Radha Krishna ek atma dui deh dhari. One soul. Very often people just start comparing. Who is Radha? Some people even say this is all imaginary. Why didn't Krishna marry Radha? I mean, it is in Brahma Vaivarth Puran, it is very clearly described. Brahmaji came himself and he performed the marriage ceremony. But the point is, Prabhuji Mataji, we have to be very clear. We have to understand our position. We cannot enter into these pastimes and understand. Because we are still in the bodily concept. You understand? The moment people talk of Ras dance, we start thinking of a human body, a man and a woman. Right? So we should stay away from these things, otherwise we'll be committing offenses. But be assured, know that Radha Krishna ek atma dui deh dhari. Anyo ne vilas aswadan kari. They have one Atma, one soul, but to enjoy these pastimes, perform these pastimes, they have taken the two bodies. Radha Krishna aiche sada ekai swarup, Leela aswadite dhare doi rup. He further states this. Right? And then Krishnadas Kaviraj, he describes who is Radharani, what is he, how she is serving Krishna. Yeah? So he says that Haladini Shakti. Yeah? So Krishnadas Kaviraj says that Krishna Karai Anand Aswadan. Krishna Karai Anand Aswadan, to let Krishna enjoy the bliss. Yes? Krishna Karai Anand Swarup, and then says that Haladini. Yeah? Haladini Nam. Yeah? The name is Haladini. And then he further goes on to say that Haladanir Sar Prem, Prem Sar Bhav, Bhavera Param Kashta Nam Mahabhav. Yeah? Haladani Sar Prem. Now what is Prem? It is also again clarified. Yeah? Atmendriya Priti Vancha Tar Bole Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Icha Dhare Prem Nam. If you try to satisfy your own senses, then it is called kam, lust. Krishnendriya Priti Icha. To satisfy Krishna, Dhare Prem Nam. So that is Prem. Yeah? So Shrimati Radharani, Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying that Haladiniri Sar Prem, Prem Sar Bhav, Bhavera Param Kashta, Nam Mahabhav. Right? Mahabhav Swarupa Radharani. So she is the Swarup of Mahabhav. Now let's understand that Mahabhav. We recite this verse every day in Shikshastakam. What is the last verse? Please repeat. Ashlishava padratam pinastuma. Ashlishava padratam pinastumam. Adarshanat marmahatam karotuva. Yatha tathava vidhatu lampato. Mat prananath tusa eva na para. Now in the Ante Leela 20th chapter, Sri Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he is discussing this Shikshastakam, so about this verse, speaking of Radharani's Mahabhav, so what had happened was one of Srimati Radharani's Sakhi, Lalita Sakhi, actually before that, once what had happened was, how we arranged the swing, we just had a swing festival. So the swing festival was being arranged by the friends of Srimati Radharani, the Sakhis. They had arranged the swing festival, and as Krishna was about to go for the swing festival, Naradji went and spoke to Krishna, and Naradji told Krishna that Chandravali is inviting you for swing festival. and Krishna, the situation was created in such a way that Krishna could not refuse. And then Krishna went and he was on a swing with Chandravali. Now as he was on a swing with Chandravali, now Naradji goes to Srimati Radharani. And he tells Srimati Radharani, oh, what are you waiting for Krishna? Oh, by the way, he is on a swing with Chandravali. And that in the material sense spoiled the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani got upset. And when Krishna found about it, then as he goes to Srimati Radharani, then Radharani, as they say, Radharani ne man kiya. Man as in, she got upset. And then after this, one of Radharani's Sakhi, Lalita, she tells Radharani that if Krishna doesn't remember you, if Krishna keeps ignoring you, then why do you still have so much affection for Krishna? You might as well forget him. He keeps ignoring you, he keeps going to these, other camp and swinging with them, then why do you maintain this? Just forget about him. And then Srimati Radharani, then she speaks to her friend and she says to her that E gopi mor kare dvesh. Ye gopi mor kare dvesh. Krishnar kare santosh. Krishna yar kore abhilash. Mui tar ghore yana. Seva kari dasi hona. Tabe hoy mor Sukhera Ullas. So what Srimati Radharani is saying that, ye gopi, that other gopi, if she is doing dvesh to me, if she is dvesh as in, if she is anti or she is envious of me, right? But she wants to serve Krishna. She is envious of me, but she wants to serve Krishna, and Krishna also desired to be with them. Then what I will do? Then she says, Mui tar ghare yana. I will go to her house. Seva kari dasi hana. I will become maid servant in her house and I will serve. Tabe mora sukher ullas. That will be the beginning of my happiness. So this is Mahabhav. Yeah? And then in the next verse, she actually speaks about a pastime. So once what had happened was, there was a Brahmana who was suffering from leprosy. He was suffering from leprosy and his wife used to serve him. His wife was serving him, and then that person, that Brahmana who was suffering from leprosy, he still had some material desires. In the city that where they were staying, there was, he desired to associate with a prostitute. See? Our Acharya says, even in that state of body, the material desires are so strong. He was suffering from leprosy. He was bedridden. But he still had that desire. And then he tells his wife that I want to go and associate with her. And wife's mood to serve. Then wife goes to the prostitute. And she tells her that my husband, he is in this state and he wants to associate with you. And she says, no, go away. He's suffering from leprosy. What if people find out about it? People will stop coming to me, etc., etc. And then the wife of Brahmana, then what she did, she started going to the house of that woman. And she started performing household chores in her house. She would clean her house, sweep her house, cook, flour, etc. Whatever needed, she will go and do that. And then that woman, she got so pleased with her and she said, why you are serving me? What do you want from me? She said, my husband wants to associate with you. Please accept that request. And then that woman, she was so upset about this, her husband, but she got so sympathetic out of mercy on her woman, and she said, okay, but I won't go to your place. Bring him here. And don't bring him during the daytime. What if people sees him coming to my place? Bring him in the night. And then that woman, that Brahmani, she carries her husband on her shoulder. And she takes him to the place. And as she takes him to that place, now as they reach there, the husband realized, oh, what a sinful person I was. This pastime is captured in the Markandeya Puran, and there are a couple of other references. Yeah, it's in the Antalila 20 chapter. Yeah? So Srila Prabhupada in the purport has given this reference. And then this person realized, oh, how sinful I was. And then he gets a realization. As they say, his light switched on. And as they were coming back, his wife was carrying him. As they were coming back, on the way Markandeya Rishi was lying on the floor. He was resting or whatever. And as she was carrying him, the wife, she hit the body of that Rishi who was lying on the floor. And as the Rishi got up, there is another reference to this, that there was that Rishi who was, who was hanging, who was given death sentence. He was hanging and he was already in such a pain. And when wife was carrying the husband, they hit his body. So various references, but try to understand the point. I may be so I'm just sharing with you. But the point was that Rishi suffered the pain as that Brahmani Mataji's foot hit the body. And then he cursed. He cursed her. And he cursed and he said, your husband will not see the next sunlight. Next day's sun he will not see. And then that Brahmani, she was so chaste. She said, if I have served my husband, if I have been chaste all through my life, then sun will not rise tomorrow. See? That Rishi used his austerity to curse them, and then she said, okay, if I have been chaste all through my life, I haven't ever thought of another man, even within the thoughts, then sun will not rise. And that's exactly what happened. Sun did not rise. The balance got disturbed. As the balance got disturbed, then all the three Murti, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they all came. They all came to the, where that place, and they spoke to the Brahmani. And they said, please, what do you want? She said, I want my husband to be fully healthy and, fit. And then Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh said, okay, we will let him die first. To prove the curse of the Brahmana, right? We cannot make that false. So let him die first. And when he dies, we will revive him again. But you please take your words back, let the sun rise. And that's exactly what happened. Husband died, sun came out, and all the three Murtis, they put the life back into the man's body. So that is the Mahabhav, Prabhuji Mataji, that Srimati Radharani is giving that reference to. She says, I don't have any problem. I know Krishna is a debauchee. Ashlishya padaratam pinastumam. Adarshanat marmahatam karotuva. We sing this verse every day. The whole point is to develop that bhav. Does not matter. She's saying, if I'm lying on the floor, whether Krishna, I'm lying, whether he embraces me or whether he kicks me. Or whether he disappears. And by his disappearance, marmahatam karotuva. But still, he will be my Lord. Yatha tatha vidhatu lampa. Mat prana nathas tusa ev na para. So that is the mood, Prabhuji Mataji, we want to inculcate. That is the Mahabhav. Yeah? That is what Srimati Radharani is saying. Krishna mora prana. Krishna mora jivan. Krishna mora pranadhan. Krishna mora pranera pran. After this, then again Radharani says to her friend who was suggesting that you better forget Krishna because he is ignoring. She says, no. Krishna mora jivan, Krishna mora pranadhan, Krishna mora pranera pran. Hriday upari dharu. Seva kari sukh karu. I will keep him on my heart. I will serve him to make him happy. Sada rahe ei mora dhyan. All the time, this is my endeavor. This is my dhyan. This is my focus. How can I please Krishna? How can I serve Krishna? Yeah? So that is the Mahabhav that we want to develop. Yeah? We all know that Uddhavji, when he was on this planet, he was non-different from Krishna himself. Lord Krishna himself says, Uddhav na anav api mad nyuno, yad gunair na ardita prabhu. Uddhav is not different from me this much. Because he is not affected by the modes. Yeah. Tato mad vyunam lokam grahyan iha tishtatho. So now I am going back to my abode, but Uddhav can stay here to distribute, to preach the Krishna consciousness to the general mass. That Uddhavji, when he takes the message of Krishna to Vrindavan, he says that as Uddhavji enters into the courtyard of Nand Maharaj, gopis saw his chariot entering into the house, courtyard. And gopis went and told Srimati Radharani, Krishna has come. Because Uddhav looked like exactly looked like Krishna. He was wearing pitambar. And as he got off the chariot, he went inside the house. They went and informed, gopis went and informed Srimati Radharani that Krishna has come. Radharani said, no, Krishna hasn't come. If Krishna had come, then I would have known. And then the whole night, as Uddhavji goes, Nand Maharaj welcomes him. They offer him nice prasadam. He honors prasadam with them. And in the night, they are lying on the beds. Uddhavji is lying here, Mata Yashoda is there, Nand Maharaj is there. And then Nand Maharaj asks Uddhav, hey Uddhav, does Krishna remember us? Does he miss us? Does he miss serving the cows? Does he miss his friends? And Uddhav then answers his questions. And it is said that as they were discussing the pastimes, the milk started coming out of Mother Yashoda's breast. That is the parakastha. That is the topmost prem. And the next day when Uddhav goes and when he meets gopis, when he shares the message passed on by Krishna to them. And then all the gopis, initially they were complaining a little bit, but then they realized and they also glorified Uddhav as none other than Krishna. There is a very nice couplet in Vrindavan that is said, Udho sudho hai gayo, sun gopin ke bol, aur gyan bajaye dug dugi, baja prem ka dhol. Udho sudho hai gayo. Uddhav, who was topmost at that time on this planet, Prabhuji and Mataji, Uddhav, he went to the heaven to take education from Brihaspati. He was so intelligent. He was the number one, you can say, right-hand person of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna will consult with him before he takes any decision. And that Uddhavji, when he met the gopis, this is what in this couplet is saying, Udho suddho hai gayo. Uddhav himself became pure. Sun gopin ke bol. When he heard the words from the gopis. When he heard how they are missing Krishna. How they love Krishna. Yeah? And then Gyan bajaye dugdugi. Dugdugi is the small drum, little drum. This is called dugdugi. And baja prem ka dhol. Dhol as in big drum. That started playing, So that is the level of affection. And then Uddhav prays. Uddhav himself prays. Kimapi Vrindavan. Gulmasha lata aushadhi. Uddhav starts praying, maybe in my next birth, I become a creeper, I become a bush, or I become a herb in the land of Vrindavan. Prabhupada highlights in the purport, Prabhuji Mate, this is important for all of us. We have assembled today to celebrate Sri Radha Ashtami. Prabhupada very clearly mentions in the purport, Uddhav did not ask to become equal to Gopi. What did he ask? May I become a creeper, bush. A creeper, maybe some gopi walking and she might touch me. May I become bush. They will walk over me. May I become aushadhi, a herb. Sometime they will use, like herbs. You have a herbs garden. And then you will get used in some cooking, some offering. So that's what Uddhav is asking. So he is not asking to become equal to gopis. He is saying, may he become that. And then he says, Vande Nand Vraja Istri Naam. Pada Renu Abhikshnasha. He says, one day I offer my prayers to the Pada Renu, to the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. Because gopis will not agree to give him the dust of their feet. So he prays, okay, that's fine. Because gopis will not give me, so I pray to the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis. Vande Nand Vraja Istrinam. Pada Renum Abhikshanasha. Yasam Hari Kathod Geetam Punati Bhuvantrayam. Because these gopis, when they are singing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it purifies all three planetary systems. You understand? So the mood is few things. The first one is we we understand the mood of Srimati Radharani. Sometimes we just use the word too casually. Radhe, Radhe. That's all good. But look, that's for the people in Vrindavan. For us, she is the consort of Supreme Personality of Godhead, like mother. Why would you discuss those pastimes? Do you discuss those pastimes between our parents? No. When Lord Shiva got married to Mother Parvati, then Goswami Tulsidas, he's saying that Sambhuhi tab Kailas hi aaye. Lord Shiva then came back to his abode. Sur sab nij nij lok sidhai. All the demigods, they went back to their abode. And then he says, Jagat Mat Pita Sambhu Bhavani. Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, they are the mother and father of the universe. Yeah. Tehi Singar. How can I describe? He did not write about their pastimes after the marriage. He just moved on to the next topic. So the point is, very often we take this lightly. So on this day, we have to stop in, we got a hard stop in 3 minutes. So I will try to now, conclude. Yeah. So the first point, Prabhuji Mataji, is that we understand what is the Mahabhav. Yeah. Yeah. Mui tar ghore yana seva kari dasi hona tabe mor sukhe ra ullas. I will go and serve as a maid servant in her house, and that will be the beginning of my happiness. Point number 1. Point number 2, from Uddhav, who was the most intelligent person, most exalted personality you can say. Krishna himself said, he is not this much lesser than me. Nyunam. Anvapi. Anvi is the smallest particle that you can measure. Krishna is saying, he is not this much less than me. What Uddhavji is praying? He is saying that Vande Nand Vraja Istrinam. I bow down to the lotus feet, to the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis. And Prabhupada says he did not want to become equal to the gopis, but he wanted to serve the dust from the lotus feet of the gopis. Right? He is happy to be born as, creeper, plant, herb, something, so that gopis will walk on to him. Yeah. So that's another point. And the third point is, she is our supreme mother. Yes. And she is the topmost devotee of Sri Krishna. Yeah. Now we'll just read one. Prabhu, how do I change screen? I'll tell you one pastime. Once Kansa, when Lord Krishna was there, Kansa used to find out what is Krishna doing. So he obviously knew about Srimati Radharani also. It is said that the once Kansa went to Barsana, where Srimati Radharani was. And Srimati Radharani found out that Kansa has come to find out what is happening. So Srimati Radharani converted him into a gopi. He was converted into a gopi, and he was given all the menial tasks. He was asked to sweep, he was asked to clean the cows, make those, from the cow dung, what they made? Kande. What do you speak in English? Cakes, yes, that's right, yeah. So he was engaged in all those services. And for a few months, he was busy doing that service. And then Mathura became kingless. And then Naradji and they all found out. And the Mathura Vasi, they were thinking, where is our king gone? But he was engaged doing best of the service that you can do. I mean, think of it. You being changed into a gopi. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in one of his writings, he is saying that may I become a gopi in my next life, so that I will get to serve Srimati Radharani. Not in this life. So he is already planning his next life. Yeah? Death is coming. He is not worried about death. He is saying, let death come and I become a gopi in my next life, so that I can serve Srimati Radharani. So that is the position of Srimati Radharani. So we'll just read that. So please hear that. So this is written by Prabodhanand Saraswati, who is one of the exalted personalities in our parampara. And Prabodhanand Saraswati, this is again to establish the fact, the position of Srimati Radharani, in what mood we serve. So what he's saying is, glorious are those persons who desire to climb out of the well of material existence and attain liberation, starting at the bottom of the rung. Even more glorious are those who have dedicated themselves to the service of the Lord. More elevated again are those who have become attached to Sri Krishna's lotus feet. Those who love the husband of Queen Rukmani are superior again to such devotees, while more praiseworthy still are those who are dear to the son of Yashoda. And more glorious again are those who have made friends with